Hey there, mini wargamers. Owen here with
Dan?
for another 40k battle report. This time it's 2,000 points of my Tau against Eldar. So maybe I can get shown how to actually play Eldar and not play it wrong. And remember, if you want to challenge myself for a mini wargamer, go to miniwargaming.com/challenge and click below if you want to get your own Eldar or Tau armies.
We work so you can play. Mini Wargaming Speed, the cooler, bat rap.
So here we have Dan's 2,000 point Eldar list. And starting from the front here, we've got 10 Pathfinders. Not Tau Pathfinders, but the Sniper Pathfinders. 10 Striking Scorpions with an Exarch, and he's got the Biting Blade and Mana Blasters and all kinds of fun stuff. And then we've got 10 Dire Avengers, and he has a Dire Sword with Defend. Then we've got 10 Guardians. Oh wait, here we go. Then we got 10 Guardians with a Warlock, and he's got Embolden, and they have a Missile Launcher platform. Then another 10 Guardians with a Embolden Warlock and a Missile Launcher platform, and his Farseer, who has Fortune and Guide. And of course all the other stuff. Then we've got a Reaper with unit of Reapers with the Reaper Exarch, and he's got Crack Shot and the other one that lets him shoot an extra time, I think. And then we've got a Warp Spiders with the Exarch, Shining Spears with an Exarch, and then we've got a unit of Bikers after these Shining Spears, because the Exarch there is because he was thinking about putting the, because you see his unit here. Then he's got an Autarch though with another Melt Gun and I think the Lance, but he's going to be joining the Shining Spears, and then a unit of Swooping Hawks because he wants to try them out with the new 6th edition rules for Haywire, as well as their ability to go down and then leave the board immediately after when they arrive from reserve. And my 2,000 points of Tau, pretty much the same army I always bring. 10 groups of Fire Warriors, or 5 groups of 12 Fire Warriors with squad leaders in each unit. Then we've got a Battlesuit Commander with all the guns, Melta Missile, or Melta Plasma with Shield Generator, Iridium Armor, and Stimulant Injectors. Then a unit of Battlesuits with Plasmas and Missiles. Another unit with Plasmas and Missiles. Unit of Pathfinders and a Devilfish and some Pathfinders. 2 Hammerheads with Railguns, and a good old pair of Broadsides. And that's 2,000 points of Tau. Oh, and then we've got our Aegis Defense line with our brings in reserves easier. Can't think of what that's called. Relay. There we go. And here we are deployed. This is the Tau deployment, and the Eldar did win to go first, so they're going to get first turn. And here he is deployed, all tucked into that one building there, and the Tau are all lined up behind their Aegis Defense line. You can see there's a few stones around the map, one beside the commander there, and then another one up in the building, and then another one in the forest in the far corner. Those are the 3 objectives in this game, and you'll see them come up more and more. But essentially, that's what we're fighting for. So, seeing if the Tau can steal the initiative, and if it is night fighting. And I do not steal the initiative. I'm rolling for night fighting. Trying again because we missed the table, and it is night fighting, so turn 1 will be night fighting as we start Eldar's turn 1. Here we go. So first thing, you use your psychic powers in the beginning of the phase, or beginning of the turn. So first one he does is Fortune, and then Guide on the Snipers. So Guide on the Snipers, Fortune on the Bikers, or on the Shining Spears with the Exarch. The Scorpions, who had infiltrated, move up around the rock heading towards my Pathfinders and my tank. So they just come up around there. Now, these guys are basically Space Marines. They've got the same armor save, only they're faster and not quite as tough, so I guess there's a hit, but they've got more attacks, so they're pretty good. Then he's got his Shining Spears coming up, and they've got all kinds of anti-tank ability. They've got like super lances that are all power weapons, but when they charge tanks, they're like strength 8 or something like that, so definitely bad news for my Hammerheads. And of course he's got his Autarch with him as well, who's giving them +1 on his reroll, or on his reserve rolls, or +1 or -1. He can choose whether he wants them to come in or not. And usually you choose that you want them to come in, but you never know. His Dire Avengers move up on the side, headed towards my Pathfinders on the left flank there. And wants to keep his Exarchs in the back, because he does not want them to get shot up from Tau, because it's a lot easier to kill characters now in units anyway. So then his other jet bike unit moves up. They're flying their 12 inches and just coming up. We agreed that the river doesn't do anything. The previous game we had played, or previous game on this board, we agreed that the river did, but this time we didn't. He gets a wild thicket for the trees over there. We had forgotten to roll for the objectives. He gets a Skyfire Nexus on that objective, as well as a Skyfire Nexus on the other objective. Now he's firing a missile launcher from the Guardians there, and he does end up killing 2 of my Pathfinders right off the start. So definitely good luck for him, especially at night when it was hard to hit, but they passed their leadership, so they're not going to be running away. Now he's using his Pathfinders that have guide on them to shoot at my commander, so he gets 10 shots, and any 6s to hit are AP1, and he gets to reroll the hit on 4 or 3s. Then he rolls to wound, and any 6s are rending. So he gets a whole bunch. I have to make 6 invulns, which I make 4 or 5 of them, and then I fail 1 save. So he only takes 1 wound after making 5 of his 6 saves. Yeah. Anyway, bikers move up. Now they're taking pot shots at my Pathfinders, just trying to get a few extra shots in. Doesn't really do anything because it is still night fighting, so he starts running his Scorpions, trying to get them a little bit closer. Just closing in on those Pathfinders in the building. Though with the Exarch there, he's going to give them move through cover, so it won't be as hard for them to start getting in, except for when they charge. Now he fires a missile launcher from the Reapers, which it turns out, because of the upgrade that his Exarch has, it ignores my cover saves. So bad news for those Tau, because it's also AP4. So it just destroys 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5 from the first unit, and then 2 from the other unit. So really bad news for them. Now they start testing for panic, but thanks to the Warlord traits, my commander's actually giving all of the units within 12 inches his leadership of 10, and his Warlord trait gave him acute senses if he chose to outflank, which he doesn't have any outflankers, so it was useless. But mine's really helpful, so good luck on the Tau. Now he's running his Dire Vendors up, and because he's Eldar, he has fleet, so he can reroll how far he runs. And flat outing his jet bikes, and he moves them to there, but he just can't reach because they're going even further, so just gets them kind of across the board because he wants to get them around. And it is night fighting, so he's going to have an increased save, increase with his Jink, and he's got Fortune. So basically, as it stands, he's got like a 2 or 3 plus re-rolling cover save. And now the other jet bikes, they move in the assault phase because they shot in the shooting phase, hitting the Pathfinders a few times, so they're just going to do their move or jump shoot jump essentially because they're like Tau battlesuits, only faster. And now I'm testing for my leadership, which they easily pass because they're leadership 10. Tau turn 1 begins, and these fire warriors, they all pile into the transport that's right beside them, and the Hammerhead turns, getting ready to shoot at all of those shining spears that are coming, as well as blocking the Scorpions from running up the building. The Devilfish take off, and I realize now that it... oh no, I can move normally, I just can't flat out. But anyway, it moves up, and the Hammerhead moves. The Commander moves over as well, because I'm going to be shooting everything at those guys. I first start off with my Pathfinders, trying to get a whole bunch of marker lights, which I do get 5, which is great. And then more marker lights, this time on the Reapers, because I got to get rid of them, because they're crushing my Fire Warriors. So we get a whole bunch. I take away his night fighting, and then I take away his cover save. This is all for the Hammerhead, mind you. And I boost my ballistic skill. So I fire away, I get 2 hits and 1 wound, and it kills 1 guy. And my broadsides shoot, they take away night fighting and a bit of his cover save, so they increase their ballistic skill is what they do. So 2 hits and 2s to wound, 1 wound. So he gets a cover save, but he fails it, and now he's trying to do a lookout sir, which he fails as well, so his Exarch actually gets killed, which is all that I wanted. And now my Pathfinders over here have marked up these guys, and they light up for the Hammerhead, which fires away. Now I did make a mistake, they don't actually have railguns, they have ion cannons, so sorry about that, but that's what's going on. He's trying to make his cover saves now, and he fails them even on a reroll. I do apologize about the top corner of the screen here. New to the camera, so his finger's over it a little bit. It's just for this first part, so don't have to worry about later on. But anyway, more Fire Warriors, now taking a few pot shots and killing, actually, a couple of his Dire Vendors. Now I'm firing even more Fire Warriors at those Dire Vendors. They don't have any marker light increase, so they are hitting on 4s, but they wound on 2s because he's only toughness 3, so they kill another 3. They kill like 5 of them. Now I'm shooting the smart missiles off of my Devilfish, hitting on 4s, wounding on 2s. 3 more wounds, but he has his regular save, which he does fail one, so another guy goes down. And then I fire my missiles at the scorpions there, which still wounds on 2s, but I fail to wound. And I take a few pot shots from these fire warriors at the shining spears, having done phenomenal in killing like 6 of them. And he makes those saves, but he does get to re-roll them, so he only fails 1, but he re-rolls that, and he's fine. So everything's good for them. There we go. And so he's actually down to just the Autarch and the Exarch over there, which bad news for him, but good news for Tau, as he makes that save as well, because my commander tried to shoot. And at the end of the phase, he gets to move, but he only gets 1d6 because he has Iridium armor. And now we're rolling for some leadership checks, which he has to take, because he did go to ground with the rocket teams, or the Exarchs, or no. Oh, what are they called? Reapers. So here we are at the end of turn 1, and actually did pretty well for shooting against those Eldar, especially against the Shining Spears, who had the rerollable save and the really high cover save at night, and killing that Exarch on the rooftop there was definitely a plus. So we'll see if the Eldar can close the gap and start killing off these Tau. Stay tuned for part 2.